Let's welcome back to MidPoint, former investigative reporter for CBS News and the author of Stonewalled. Sharyl Attkisson joins us once again from New York. Sharyl, you've made no bones about it that you believe that your computers, the CBS computers at work, even at your home, that you have been surveilled by someone, that they've been tapped into. And you've gone very public with this. Now that you've gone public, do you believe that you are still being watched by someone, perhaps the Obama administration?
I haven't had a computer forensic analysis done on my current system, at least not in the last couple of months. And it's not a matter of I believe. I have 3 separate computer forensics examinations, including one commissioned by CBS News that showed us quite some time ago that there had been remote intrusions in not my CBS computer at work, but my CBS laptop that I used at home, as well as my personal Apple computer at home. And 2 of the 3 forensics exams that were able to dig the deepest revealed that there appeared to be connections to proprietary software used exclusively by government agencies.
Government agencies. Do you think this is the Obama administration?
I'm trying not to go far outside what the computer forensics shows, which is, according to one of my experts, software used by the DIA, the FBI, the CIA, or the NSA.
You don't want to go any deeper, but would it be your belief then that it would be logical that you're being watched by somebody in the administration?
Yes, I think that that would make sense, especially when I first learned this. This was way before the revelations about Associated Press, Fox, and so on. Now, in hindsight, along with some other information we've gathered, that would make sense.
Why do you think they would want to continue to follow you and to tap into your communications?
Continue since what point?
Well, continue apparently since, according to an interview, you talked about the fact that CBS, that it perhaps was your home computer, your CBS computers. CBS executives suspect that the government hacked into your computer there. Why then would they still be looking after you and watching you?
You mean today? Because as I said,
Yes.
I haven't done a forensics examination that indicates anything about what's happening today. So I don't have that information that they are.
Okay. Do you believe then that CBS was trying to cover up the fact, because again, in an interview that you gave, you said CBS, nobody ever questioned you, came to your house, checked the security of your system, asked you for more information. So were they just trying to tamp this down as much as possible to protect what might be their connection with the Obama administration?
It seemed like there was more of a tamping down than a cover-up. They actually issued a press release that acknowledged that CBS acknowledged the remote intrusions had occurred, so they weren't covering it up. But they didn't really follow up, at least they didn't tell me if they followed up on this past that point, and they certainly didn't send any experts out to my house to check out the systems or interview me or try to secure my sources and that sort of thing.
There was a video that you released with your cell phone, taken with your cell phone, of an apparent hack. Politico got a hold of it, they looked at it, and in one of the Politico and Dylan Byers blog, it said there's no way to confirm from the video alone that a hack is actually taking place, and it apparently has one of their experts saying that there's no evidence other than routine technical glitches that everyone suffers. How would you answer that back?
I didn't see that report, but I would suggest that any expert that would comment on a video absent forensic information and the other information that's there is commenting on partial information. And I don't claim to know what that video shows. It's merely a visual anecdote that after we had the computer forensics that showed the intrusions into the computers, this is something that happened that my experts said is not duplicable by holding down the backspace key or the delete button. That's rather ludicrous, actually. But I can see if people don't have full information, and especially in some cases if they have a mission or an agenda to prove to defend their interests in advance of some of the things that I'm saying in the book, I can see why they might want to say that.
Cheryl, unfortunately, I only have about a minute left here. Eric Holder recently released some documents regarding the Fast and Furious. You've detailed those on your website as well. Looking at some of these documents, your investigative reporting over the years, what you have gleaned on both sides, is there any doubt in your mind personally that the Obama administration lies on a regular basis to the American people about many things?
I would say they have given a great deal of factually incorrect and disproven information in many different circumstances, and that's just an established fact. The documentation they released is actually a list, not the actual documents, of more than 15,000 withheld documents related to Fast and Furious that the president is holding back under executive privilege a good deal of them involving, for some reason, my freedom of information requests on the subject in my news articles. I'm not sure why the president would step in, the president of the United States, and make sure that emails discussing my stories and my Freedom of Information Act requests would be kept secret. And that's a mystery until and unless we can get a hold of the documents themselves.
We are unfortunately all out of time. As someone who's been a journalist in my entire career, I wish you luck in what you're doing, because we've all heard that phrase before, you'll never work in this business again, but sometimes maybe that's good when you're trying to uncover what is wrong with the business. The book is called Stonewalled, My Fight for Truth Against the Forces of Obstruction, Intimidation, and Harassment in Obama's Washington. Sharyl Attkisson is the author. Sharyl, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope we get to do it again.
Thank you.
All right, reminder once again, midterm election coverage right here on the Newsmax Network beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern Time tonight until midnight. MidPoint continues.